I'm Mike Rossi, owner of Cabinet Coats, and we specialize in cabinet refinishing, countertops, backsplash, essentially the modified kitchen remodel.
Cool. And how long have you been working with me, Mike?
I've been working with you for a little over 2 years now.
And yeah, it's been a while actually.
It's
And what
crazy.
what problems were you facing in the beginning of your business?
Um, I think that I had no idea how to handle any of the advertising on social media.
Okay.
I definitely was essentially not advertising.
Okay, cool. And there's a lot of people within your field that strictly get their leads from Angie's List, right? I'm sure that you know
Yes.
about that. What would you say is the factor between problems with Angie's List and running your own ads on social media?
Well, I have done Angie's List, Home Advisor. I did all that before. And the problem with that is you're reaching out to a bunch of potential clients. And with what running ads, it's those potential clients reaching out to you. So it's a completely and utter different dynamic that you've created.
Sick. Awesome.
Yeah.
And what has been, over, I know we started off with ads in the beginning of like running images and stuff like that. And, as we've evolved, I would say that you're probably the most like wildest person when it comes to creating ads.
Hey, I'm Mike Rossi, owner of Cabinet Coats, and I just don't understand why you have not reached out to me yet and connected on getting your cabinets refinished, your countertops done, your backsplash done.
But like, what have you seen from the transition from, being you on camera versus running images and how that's affected the cost per lead?
Uh, well, it's definitely brought the cost per lead down. Um, and I feel like running running video ads are way better. Just it's like I don't want to say that, just pictures and stuff is just obsolete, but it almost feels like it's obsolete versus running ads. I just couldn't do it any other way, I feel like now. It's just yeah, it's obsolete, I feel like.
And what would you say to someone that's like, because in the beginning, would you say that you were more so camera shy in the
Oh
beginning?
yeah, I still hate it for sure. But you have to do what most people are camera shy, if not everybody. So you just have to get over that because it's when we started running the ads, the videos, I I I definitely felt like we had more of a control of when we turn them on. I know money's coming in,
Yeah.
and the better the ads get, the more I know more money's coming in. We're getting more views. We're getting more eyes on what we want. And I mean, at the end of the day, that's it. So it's like I'm super camera shy. I don't even like social media, but I do it because I didn't, you just have to do what you have to do. And that's just it.
There's a lot of business owners that are monotoned whenever they're making these video ads. Could you talk a little bit about, the creativity behind the mind of Mike Rossi when it comes to making your videos and how that's, affected the business overall? And
Um, so it is 100% affected the business. Every single day I get someone that I'm on a call with that will just be like, and it's always at the end of the conversation. I mean, some people will say during the conversation, but a lot of people will wait till the end of the conversation, and it'll be like, we're saying goodbye and whatnot, and then they'll be like, and by the way, I loved your ads. I loved your ads. So, and I had one lady who just recently Tuesday I talked to her, And she said that she had been watching the ads for like a year, and uh, they were funny, and she felt like they I still showed that I knew what I was doing, but I was definitely a people person. And then she wound up telling me that 2 years ago she met me in a Downers Grove Home Depot one time at the pro desk, and she's like, "You're exactly the way you were in your ads." And I really want to work with you. And it was one of those moments that, like, it really touches you because you're like, holy cow, there's that one person that really connected with your ads. And she really felt, you could tell that the construction, the remodeling process was very nerve-wracking for her, but she got a lot of laughs, and she was like, I just love the one where you said you did 25 push-ups before the ad.
Hey, I'm Mike Rossi, owner of Cabinet Coats, and I might have done 25 push-ups before I shot this ad so I look a little more swole. But that's not important. What's important is that I get in front of you and I get your cabinet refinishing job.
And it's just, that was an awesome thing. But I think that what goes through my head is you just have to do what other people aren't doing.
Yeah.
And every in my industry, it's all before and after photos, right? That's all it is. That everyone's ads, before and after, before and after. Well, then you just blend in. So that's, where we started. We just kind of just started throwing in the ads, but, putting a little zing to it. And just everyone likes to laugh, man. And if you can, connect on laughing, and, people's guards will come down, and then you can just sell them something.
Yeah.
And what I've learned through this whole experience is that it is 100% you that you're selling. It's not the product or service. I am getting to the point now where people have seen, 10 of our ads, or they're just, consistently being hit, or now they follow me, and they finally pull the trigger, and we'll go through the whole in-home consultation. They'll either swipe their credit card or hand me a check, and they haven't even seen the sample door yet.
Yeah.
It was, so it's gotten to the point where they're buying me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that that is the main goal out of everything. You don't want to sell necessarily the product or service. You're trying to sell yourself, and we forget that. And that's what the ads kind of reminded me, because that's what I've started to pick up with. That it's me that people are buying. You know what I mean? And we package that in a funny ad that I think catches people's attention. It's funny, so it hits them in a good place, and then it still allows it to look like I know what I'm talking about. So I dominate my field. And I mean, I think the ads show that we dominate the field.
Yeah. For sure. I think that along the way of us working together, there were, a few kinks that were happening within, the ads and marketing. And then we eventually got to the point where we were like figuring it out, right? So during that process, what would you say to another business owner that potentially works with me in whatever home improvement field that they're in, to like, what would you tell them in order to, stay patient during that process?
Uh, well, what I would actually say is I would tell them not to stay patient, but it's a lot of work on my part, right? And we as the business owners have to handle the things that need to be handled, like getting you new content, getting you things you need, keeping up, and following through, taking the info from the leads, and then giving that to you to then tweak things,
Right.
but it is a process, that's just it. It's about what you put into it every time. I get a fire under my ass, and I make 20 videos in a night, and I send you a bunch of stuff, and it's, the cost per lead goes down.
Right.
But if you are reaching out to me and they're like, yo, you got to get me this new stuff. Hey, I'm starting to see these things. We need to do this new stuff. We need to do this new stuff. And then I don't do those things. Well, then you can't do what you have to do.
Right.
So I think it's not being patient. It's understanding that it is a process, but it is ever evolving. That's the number one thing. You have to continue to tweak, dial it in, tweak, dial it in, tweak, dial it in. And then you'll get 2 years later, you'll get to where we are, where it is you just turn it on. And I mean, dude, it just runs. You know what I mean? Like in a bad day, in a good day, we still bring in the leads. In exhausting ads that you've been telling me for a month to change out, we still bring in a ridiculous amount of leads. We're
Yeah.
still cheaper than Angie's List, than Home Advisor, whatever they are now.
Yeah.
So it's the harder the business owner works to help you out, I think is how everything goes. But it is a process. It's nothing happens overnight. There's a ton of trial and error, and you just have to continue to work and evolve at it because that's where you find the sweet spot. You know what I mean?
And if you don't mind me asking, you don't have to say the specific number, but like, could you just say like where you were numbers wise beginning to where you are now?
Well, I'll say this. I'll say this. Over the last 6 months, we thought we were going to be needing to do roughly about 37,000 a month to pay all the bills, cover all the expenses, and to be like, okay, we're maintaining, I can live off this, and we can at least, cover things.
Yeah.
Uh about 37 a month. I I don't know the exact numbers, but I mean we probably do a bad week like 35 a week now, I mean, so it's I remember when I started talking to you about the business, I went to you and I was like, hey, look, I want to build it and then we'll work on it a couple of years and then we want to sell it,
Yeah.
and I was just telling the wife, probably 2 weeks ago that now I can finally you write the business plan and you talk about wanting to sell something for 5 million, 10 million, but I had told her that now I can actually see us selling it for 10 million bucks because it's grown to that. And I mean, I run my whole business off of you.
Yeah.
I've only now started diversifying into just some ground game, but it all comes off of, oh, I get a lead, I get that job, then I scour that neighborhood, and we hit people around that neighborhood. But again, that stems from the ads.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not doing anything else. I can't handle anything else right now. So yeah, I mean, it's a sense that I can open up another cabinet coats in any other. I mean, we might have even talked about this,
Yeah.
where I'm confident enough that I could just move to any state and open another cabinet coats, and we run the same blueprint we're running, and we just turn the money printer on.
Yeah. Yeah. So, how would you describe the quality of leads that have been coming in from changing the concept of the ads?
Better. Oh yeah. We just continue to dial in, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? And we keep getting juicier, better leads. We keep getting more dialed in. I had become, well aware that when we started shrinking our areas and started dialing things in, that leads just no matter what would become more expensive. But we've been able to bring those very specialized leads, we've been able to bring those down to still being under Angie's List, still being under Home Advisor. That I know for a fact. I mean, Angie's List calls me every other week. Every other week they call me, and when I tell them what we pay cost per lead on things, they just say we can't do that. I mean, they flat out they say they cannot because they can't do it. So you know.
It's crazy. Okay. How would you describe working with me in one word?
Smart.
Smart?
Yeah.
All right, cool. I like that. Um,
Yeah.
and how consistent has it been working with me? Like, how consistent has the quality of work been, the communication, everything?
All through and through. Yeah, it's been A plus
Sick.
for sure. Yeah, for sure. We or I wouldn't be with you over 2 years.
For sure.
I mean, I definitely give you a hefty check every I gotta, slang a couple kitchens, but it's well worth it or I wouldn't do it. You know what I mean? We wouldn't keep going to the next level together if it wasn't 100% awesome.
Yeah. And I appreciate that, by the way. And
Yeah.
what would you tell other business owners that are looking to run paid ads?
Well, so I think what everyone's problem is that up front, being a new business owner, you're scared. You're scared to spend that money, right? Because that's all it comes down to is the money. To put it 99.9% of the time, it's just being scared to let go of that money. And I think that you can either try to take the time and learn what you guys know and do it yourself, or you could just pay and that's going to take years because I've worked with you for years,
Yeah.
right? So I know for a fact you've been doing this years,
Yeah.
and you're just not going to do it. Anyone who is a specialist in their field is good at what they do. So I wouldn't hesitate. I don't even hesitate about these things. I mean, you know that.
Yeah.
I money is a tool and I use it as a tool. And that's how I think when it comes to paid ads with you, you consistently are trying to dial yourself in and be better at your craft. So I don't it's like a no-brainer to me. Don't be nervous about spending the money. You're seeing where it's going, you're seeing what's happening. Everything is transparent. So it's not like, there's any where did this go? I mean, it's pretty obvious. And there's times I work you guys like dogs.
Yeah.
So again, it comes to, you know, you're it's not, a 24-hour, 7 day a week thing, but between the working hours, if I want to press you for things and ask for things and you know, that's what you're there for. That's what I pay for. So that's the benefit of it. Shit happens all the time where Facebook goes down or this happens or this guy's trying to scam me or this is going on. And I know none of it and I don't want to know any of it. It doesn't make me money doing any of that. What makes me money is doing what I do. And what makes me money is letting you do what you do.
Yeah.
So that's what you're paying for. I, I'm wholeheartedly confident you're a specialist in your field. So it's, that's what you do. You pay specialists to do the special things.
Sir. Awesome. Well, thank you, Mike, for hopping on this call. That's all my questions. And I appreciate your time.
Absolutely, my man.